Paranormal. According to Webster's dictionary, paranormal is described as scientifically unexplainable or supernatural. Have you ever heard unexplained noises that go bump in the night? If you have, there's a local group that might just be able to help you out with an explanation. The Carolina Paranormal Society helps frightened homeowners when they are experiencing the unexplained, such as reoccurring noises, unexplained cold spots, and even ghostly apparitions. We have with us tonight two members of the Carolina Paranormal Society, Jason Porter, founder-director, and Matt Owens, team manager and investigator. Welcome, gentlemen.
Thank you.
First of all, Jason, what exactly is the Carolina Paranormal Society?
Well, we are a not-for-profit organization. We're not registered with the state. We're just basically a group of friends that investigate paranormal activity in homes and businesses and wherever people are having claims of activity.
And what exactly do you investigate?
We typically investigate residential homes for our clients or commercial businesses, just as Jason put, anyone who has unexplainable phenomenon in their home or business.
Okay, what exactly constitutes unexplained phenomenon or a haunting?
Well, the unexplained phenomenon can be everything from, like you said in your opening, bumps in the night, apparitions, cold spots, and we will go in and investigate and try to debunk what's going on.
And do you charge for your services?
Absolutely not.
Okay.
Let me add a little bit to that. We would never want to charge for a service that we can't guarantee anything. When you hire a plumber to come to your house and fix your pipes, you pay him a fee and he comes and fixes your pipes, hopefully if he's a good plumber. With us, if we were to charge a fee, we could come to your house, but we cannot guarantee you that we're going to get any kind of activity, any kind of evidence. We may just come in, start recording, doing our thing, and come back a few weeks later and say, we got nothing. Right. So to charge a fee just wouldn't be ethical in my opinion.
Okay, since you don't charge a fee, how is your group funded?
My pocket, his pocket, some donations that
right.
That the clients will give us. We never ask for anything. It's strictly up to them whether or not they want to donate.
Okay. And where are you based?
I live in Kannapolis. Matt lives in Cherryville, but we claim to be from Charlotte, just
right.
because everybody pretty much is from the Charlotte area.
Correct.
And what area do you send out your investigations to?
We cover a 100-mile radius around the Charlotte area. We're part of the TAPS family, so we're a TAPS family group for North Carolina, as well as we serve upstate of South Carolina. So pretty much we'll help anyone in any area that contacts us that we can get to in a timely fashion.
Okay, and how long has the group been together?
We've been together 3 years, a little over 3 years now, but I've been investigating for 7. I started a group up in Maine when I lived up there, and when I moved down here a little over 3 years ago, I said, well, I did it once, I may as well do it again, and so that's how it started.
Okay. Now, Matt, I grew up in what was considered to be an extremely haunted house, and as a child, I experienced several phenomena, including an apparition, voices, knocking in the corner. I understand that you also, as a child, experienced supernatural. Can you tell us a little about that?
I did. I had an experience as a child where I was staying with a friend. I was about 10 years old, and I got up in the middle of the night to use the restroom. And when I went to go wash my hands at the sink, I looked up in the mirror and saw an apparition of an elderly woman behind me in the mirror. And it startled me at first, but after that, I had this insatiable need to explain why I saw that and where it came from and why it was. And I think that's what fostered my interest in the paranormal.
Wow, that is impressive. Also, I read in the Gaston Gazette that you've recently had a physical altercation with a spirit.
A few weeks ago, during an investigation, I had my pants leg tugged. Not been able to explain that yet. I'm still reviewing evidence from that case, so I think I may have on camera where that occurred. So we're still going back to see if there's an explainable reason for it. But from that happened right then, I couldn't tell you why or how it happened. So it was an interesting experience.
How about you, Jason? Any experiences that you would like to share?
Well, what got me interested was when I was a kid, shortly after my grandmother passed, probably within a couple weeks, I was sitting in the living room, and it was an old house that my grandfather had built, and it was a very large living room, and there was one outlet on the wall. Of course, old houses didn't have a lot of outlets, and there was the TV, which was plugged into that one outlet, and then there was a Beta VCR that was set on one of those big chest record players, and that wasn't plugged in. When I was sitting there watching TV, the Beta VCR had the old buttons on it that when you pushed it, you could actually hear it click. And when I was sitting there, I heard the button click and the red light came on the VCR, but yet I could see that it wasn't plugged in, and I did it twice. Whether or not that was my grandmother, I don't know, but I think it was maybe her giving me a signal. And then the other thing that got me involved, interested in it, was I'm also a Civil War reenactor, and I was in a fort down in Boston, well, up in Boston from here. That it was the middle of the night, I couldn't sleep, so I decided to go take a walk around the fort, and I saw a full body apparition in one of the rooms of the fort. Wow. And so I've had a lot of experiences out on battlefields. Right now I reenact with the 30th North Carolina out of Charlotte, and we go to various battlefields, and I've had a lot of experiences out there.
Okay.
That Beta VCR, yeah, that's because it was a beta.
Yeah, that's scary enough on its own.
Yeah.
What would you say is the most haunted location that your group has investigated?
I would say the historic park of Gold Hill, which is up by Salisbury. That place, we've investigated there. We did a group investigation once, and then we've had 2 events that we were special guests at. And at the 2 events, we had a lot of activity at both events. This past weekend, we just did one, and we have a half-an-hour clip that we're still trying to get. One of the people there, one of the patrons, caught a half-an-hour clip of just pure activity. I mean, it was incredible. I caught the last 5 minutes of it, and it was really, really incredible. And then when we did our group investigation, we had a lot of activity there also. So,
now, Matt, you mentioned that you're members of the TAP family. Can you tell us a little bit about that organization?
Well, TAPS, the Atlantic Paranormal Society, they're the guys that you see on the sci-fi networks, Ghost Hunters. They created a affiliate network that we're members of, in which essentially, because their TV shows got the popularity, clients from all around contact them to ask investigations. Well, they couldn't possibly do all that, so they created this affiliate network to be able to get investigators and get the clients the help that they need.
Okay. It's a group of teams that TAPS trusts. I also am the TAPS Family Southeast Liaison. Basically, I kind of manage the Southeast teams, and whenever they have issues, they come to me, and I bring it to the management of TAPS. So.
Okay. I understand that we have a clip that we're going to watch that has some flashlight evidence. Could you give us a little setup for that?
Yeah, Matt, that'd be more up your alley. Since
the clip that we have was taken at a location that used to be a hospital in the northern part of North Carolina. And while we were sitting in the basement of this facility, our lead investigator and I were asking some questions and started getting responses with some flashlights. And it was an awesome experience. During that investigation, I was also pushed back in a chair. Dom, our lead investigator, was pushed out of a chair. So we've had a lot of activity at that location, and we've investigated there a couple times.
Okay, let's take a look at that clip now.
I can't.
Can you turn that light on again?
How about turning the other light on? Okay, how about turning the one on the left on? The left.
Turn it off now. Turn it off.
Can you turn it back on for me? Come on, I see you trying. Can you turn it on? Turn it on, leave it on. Okay, flashlight started going off.
They don't like me. Record it.
Hey Jay,
What's that?
can you come back up and come upstairs? I want to show you something.
I just sat down.
Yeah, well, I didn't know you left.
Can you turn that flashlight back on for me and Dom? Turn it on and leave it on. Steady.
Give me a minute.
Okay.
You know what's weird, Dom? Usually the K2 goes off with a radio. Have you noticed our K2 hasn't moved?
You're absolutely right, actually.
Now that was pretty convincing. It made the hairs on my arm stand up. Now in the clip we saw that you used flashlights. What other kind of equipment do you use in your investigations?
Well, right here in the center case are our cameras. So similar to what the video clip showed, we captured that with an IR camera. As a matter of fact, it was a handheld over on that case. We also use EMF detectors, electromagnetic field detectors. So Jason's holding what is a male meter, and that meter actually measures EMF and also ambient temperature. So we use that to try to see if there's energy in places. The K2 is also a device that we use. It also detects electromagnetic fields, and it's a more visual tool. It has lights that light up if the EMF fields get higher or lower. So,
And EMF stands for electromagnetic field.
we also use voice recorders. There's just a standard digital voice recorder. We try to capture EVPs or electronic voice phenomenon with these voice recorders, and of course the flashlights, as shown in the clip, are what we use to see if we can capture activity. They can tap and turn them on, tap, turn them off.
Oh, that's how I was wondering about that.
Yep. So this is just a small sampling of the tools that we use when we investigate. So.
Okay, very impressive. Now for the $1 million question. Suppose that I have a ghost in my house. What do I do?
Call us.
Call you.
Call us.
Call the Ghostbusters.
Call Carolina Paranormal. No, I mean, we're kind of a last resort. Most of the time, if the ghost is in the house and people know that they are there, Most people are okay with it. 99.9% of the time, they're just trying to communicate. They're just trying to let you know that they're there. So they're not going to hurt you. They're not going to bother you. They may just make a few noises. If they're bothering you to the point where you feel you need to have it validated and you want someone to come check it out, that's where you can go on carolinaparanormal.com and submit a case request, and we'll come out and investigate for you.
Okay. How many members do you have on your team currently?
We have 18, and we're looking to add more
Now,
because we're that busy.
Now, supposing someone would like to volunteer, what kind of positions are available?
Right now, we have investigator positions, which is doing what we do, going out and into residences and businesses and trying to figure out what's going on. We have a historical researcher position, which is basically going back through the records and finding out the property history, people history, that type of thing. And then we also have some reserve investigator positions, which is basically like the investigator, but they're an on-call investigator. We train them the same, but they're only invited to the ones where we need them. That's great for those that have limited amount of time but would still like to be involved.
Okay, very good. Well, I would like to thank you, first of all, for coming out and sharing your experiences with us this evening. And if you would like more information on Carolina Paranormal Society, you can visit them at their website at www.carolinaparanormal.com. For all of you at home, I wish you a safe and happy Halloween, and mainly, happy ghost hunting.